Okay. This apparently is in Homage to Hebrews chapter 12. I spent all day spinning my wheels trying to do some shit. I started dreaming again a few days ago. I used to tell you what I dreamt. What I dreamt was just shit that's going on at work, but nobody cares. It was me. I mean, I got shot in the back. At the same time that I posted those stories about the shootings in Torrance, you know, it was like a mass SWAT team out there and stuff. And I got shot a couple of times, and you know, some people went to the hospital. You know, some people were just laying there dying. And I said, "Excuse me." And they like telling me, you know, they gave me this flyer. This was spirited. I told you, they act out shit. They gave me this flyer about, you know, this great medical care that you can go to, and you don't have to go to it in the war zone. What you can do is you can just go to this place, and it's outside of that, and it's all good. And I'm like, okay. And they just gave me the flyer. They gave me the address, you know, and I said, so do I drive myself there? Because, see, I thought they would be ready to come in there and kill me again. They're like, no, or shoot me again. Because they didn't kill me. It just hurt. The shit hurt like ridiculous. I mean, it was a very realistic dream. So they said, oh, no, you're okay because, you know, she's a nurse. You know, and the people had guns. You know, they just regular people. You know, like you and me. They had guns, rifles, and shit like that. And they're out there, you know, shooting people. Because, you know, for them, you know, they had issues. So they wanted to shoot people. They wanted to kill people. And then I had another dream where it was a traffic accident. And the people laid in the street, and the people holding their broken bodies, and they crying about it. And it was like, oh, it was so sad. And, you know, and I'm sitting there, you know, trying to, like, make my way in life. And at the same time, all the shit was going on. And I'm like, what the fuck is really going on? And then I had a dream, the spirit talked about they taking out the trash. I told you, see, I don't need you to interpret my dreams because that was very telling and very straightforward. It was Hebrews 12. Because today, like I said, I spent the day, you know, working on trying to get money for people, and God said, this money is coming, don't worry about it. And when you get this money, I mean, you're going to get it, but you know, what you don't do is you don't get caught up in this other bullshit. And when I texted the lady and said, okay, I have this money, she said, oh, I'm working with my boss, I'm doing something. She said she was doing something with the boss's car. I said, okay. She said, but then I'll be right over. I ain't seen that one. I fell asleep. I had to end up eating something because I was tired. I've been working all day trying to, you know, accommodate her. I'm behind some money. You know, because that's basically what it's all about. Everybody's talking about that they need this money. This stuff, and they got their GoFundMe accounts. I've been watching the news. I've been watching a lot of shit. Like I said, even in the dreams. And he was telling me stories about you guys. And he was talking about how you live in this la-da-da-da-dee-la land. And that, you know, I'm like this adopted child. But at the same time, I'm not made to feel welcome. But at the same time, you know, you got it all together because you don't go to school. You run the school. You're the principal. You're the mom. Y'all playing dodgeball and shit like that. I mean, he talked about y'all. That shit was hysterical. But it was also very sad and very disconcerting. And at the same time, it was like you were rationing out what you would give to anybody for various causes. And at the same time, you had your celebrities in there. And they came from different backgrounds and different ideologies, like you, and they wanted to piss on everything you had to say, and therefore nobody was working together. Everybody just had their opinion and their epiphanies, and they were all ready to offend. So I guess sure, because that's what I was looking at as I looked through Facebook feeds today, because I hear it from Lori Reinhold. I definitely hear it from whatever the girl's name is. The one who had her feelings hurt with Doreen Virtue, because she's still out there talking some shit. Or Bill Lipton, yeah, she's talking shit. Everybody's talking shit. Nobody cares. See, the thing is, we have reached a level of equilibrium within the eyes of God. And that's one thing I definitely do see. Because you have learned to overlook certain things as you sit there and critique other things, but you always want to put the shit on somebody else because you don't have the eyes to see it. And that was something else he showed me in the dream. That you will try and sell anything as something that you can hear, but not what you can see, because it has nothing to do with you, because you're that kind of a player. You balling just like that. So, let's go over Hebrews 12, because that's what he brought up. So then, encircled as we are, this is, from that Gideon Bible, but I'm going to post it in the H version. So then, encircled as we are with such a great cloud of witnesses all about us, let us get rid of every impotent and the sin that ensnares us so easily, and let us run steadily the course mapped out for us, with our eyes on Jesus, the cause and the completer of our faith, who, in view of the joy that lay ahead for him, submitted to the cross, thought nothing of the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Compare your experiences with his, who was willing to stand so much hostility from sinners against himself, so that you may not become weary and despondent. See, that right there is telling to me that you basically really have equated yourself to be Jesus Christ. You have not laid down your swords or your weapons of choice. You just basically went stupid. Y'all been sounding stupid to me for a while. I was trying to figure this shit out. Compare your experience with his, who was willing to stand so much hostility from sinners against himself, so that you may not become weary and despondent. Which means you are never going to become weary and despondent, because you are in a localized state. You are in an homogenized state. You have been blended sufficiently as the devil wished you to be. The devil is your own ignorance, which means that you cannot sit there and say, now I can critique you, when you cannot critique yourself, because you cannot see that you participate in these same heinous acts just the same, because you applaud everything and you say thank you for your fucking service. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted, so that it has cost you blood, and you have been forgetful of the appeal that speaks to you as sons. My son, do not think lightly of the Lord's discipline, not to become discouraged under his reproof. For the Lord disciplines the person he loves, and punishes every son whom he receives. You must endure for the sake of correction. God is treating you as sons. For what son is there whom the Father does not discipline? If you receive no correction, such as all sons share, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. Oh, so what title do you hold, and how do you now correct others? But at the same time, you yourself are not supposed to be corrected by those who also are in the same camp as you, and you are now homogenized pieces of milk and milk, which, if you're lactose intolerant, does not agree with you. I am not thinking about you. No, I don't like almond milk, and I don't like coconut milk. I don't like a lot of different types of milk. I don't like goat's milk. I don't like antelope milk. I don't like sheep's milk. I don't like this kind of milk. This is what's good for you. This is what's good for you. This is what's good for you. Oh, so much is good for me. And none of the things that you say pertain to the fact that maybe you are not good for me, and that's why you started cutting cords. That's why you started telling me you had to put up boundaries, and you could no longer be my friend, but at the same time you couldn't understand why people didn't understand your messages of love and light, because at the same time you cut the cord. They ain't not supposed to get you. You have arrived. You're ready to ascend. But you're going to ascend in the same way you came in. I think it's funny. Now, if we were corrected by our human fathers and respected them, shall we not far rather submit to our spiritual Father and live? But while they, for a few days, disciplined us as they saw fit, because they are physical, they're not really of spirit. Not yet. I mean, they're close to spirit, just like you, but hey, who knows anything? He does it for our benefit, so that we may share in his holiness, our goodness. That's funny. His holiness. I mean, his way of teaching, his way of believing. Of course, no discipline seems at the time enjoyable, but it seems painful. Later on, however, it affords those schooled in it the peaceful fruitage of an upright life. So lift up your drooping hands and strengthen your shaking knees. Step out straight ahead with your feet so that which is lame may not be dislocated, but rather be healed. Seek eagerly for peace with everyone and for holiness without which no one shall see the Lord. See to it that no one falls short of divine grace, that no one cultivates a root of bitterness to cause disturbance by which many will be defiled. I don't know what y'all talking about when you keep talking about, oh, we got to do something about these people because they got problems. There ain't nothing wrong with Donald Trump. He done already told you that. They've already been lifted. And shoot, Heike, y'all need to get over yourself. That man said, ain't nothing wrong with me. And I got a whole bunch of people who agree with me. And you are just one voice in the wind. Wind, blow wind, and let the thunder crack. Now you done turn your time back. Oh, that was a incantation from Bewitched. That was funny. My father used that as an example. That no one be immoral or profane like Esau, who for a single meal sold his own birthright. You know what that is? He was hungry, and he told his brother to just give him some of that food that he had prepared, and he said it comes at a price. He said, well, what's the price? He said, it's your birthright. Because he was supposed to inherit. But he didn't inherit shit. Because once the brother got his agreement, he didn't feel like he stole anything from him. What he did was, he went to the father, disguised as a son, and told his father, it's I, because he already knew that his father was short-sighted, could not see, was blind, and he basically went ahead and mimicking him at the behest of his wife, because she said, you go get that birthright. You play this trick. And he did. And what happened? The father gave the birthright. And when the son came, knowing his father was on his dying bed, said, well, I want the same thing. Which had already given it to you. He said, no, it was not me. He realized it was his brother who betrayed him. And he said, but I cannot get back or go back on my word. But see, that's what you believe about the living and truthful God. But you went back on your word. So now you understand what this is talking about. But you say religious text is just full of this nonsense. You go back on your word all the time. And now you're caught up in this homogeny of bullshit. And you want me to sit there and feel sorry for you. You didn't feel sorry for me, so I'm going to tell you something right now. What you're going to go through, you're going to go through for a long ass time. For you know how afterward, when he wanted to inherit the blessing, he was rejected because he found no opportunity to repent, although with tears he sought for the blessing. Nobody sought. For you have not come up to the mountain that was not to be touched. A blazing fire and gloom, darkness and storm, to trumpet sound and audible words, the herders of witches would that no further message be brought them, for they could not bear the command, even if an animal touches the mountain, it must be stoned. Y'all got all kinds of spirit animals out there. I know what they do and I know what they say. And the phenomenon was so dreadful that Moses said, I am terrified and trembling. Instead, we have come to Mount Zion, the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, to 10,000s of angels in festering gatherings, and to the assembly of the firstborn whose names are rolled in heaven, and to God, the judge of all, and to the spirits of the righteous who have been made perfect, and to Jesus, the mediator of the new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood to tell of better things than that of Abel. Be careful not to refuse to hear the one who is speaking, for if those people did not escape who refused to hear the person who spoke God's message on earth, how much less shall we if we turn away from the one who speaks from the heaven? His voice then shook the earth, but now he has promised, once more I will shake, not only the earth, but heaven as well. This phrase once more indicates the final removal of everything shaken, created things, so that the unshaken things may remain. Let us therefore be grateful that the kingdom we have received cannot be shaken, and so let us serve God acceptably with reverence and awe. For our God is a consuming fire. I can tell you many things I've learned. My father has been very talkative, very chatty and stuff, and I felt very empty inside. Because I said, well, there's no place for me. He said, oh, there's a place for you, but your place is with me. And I hold you tightly by the purse string because you will not just go willy-nilly and give again as you did before. You will give out certain information, and they will sit there and look stupid, like they're accustomed to, because that's who they are. They want to be straight-up idiots. I'm not going to stop you from being a straight-up idiot as you sit there and say thank you for your service and kill yourselves. I'm not going to thank you for your stupidity as you elect corrupt politicians, or if you don't see the fact that who you contribute to or who you side with is just like you, when you pretty much are the same, whether you call yourself religious or spiritual or whatever, that you can talk to angels and spirits and more, and you still out there teaching that shit, and then it made you slave labor when you before you said, you know, it was a privilege and they did all the work, but now your ass is always tired and you look haggard and worn. And as you sitting there and you delivering pithy and insightful messages, then you can tell me what they remind you of as you did for me, because you said, well, you know, you sound like so-and-so. I'm not that person. Yeah, I'm not that person. But they do exist within spirit, so therefore I can bring through their essence. That's not the problem. The problem is why would I want to stand alone, but still at the same time sound like somebody else? No, it was never about the unification of souls, as you have caused the division within souls, that you're working that hard. How dare you tell me that you done burned down 3, if not 4 churches, black churches in Louisiana in a very short span of time in this year, 2019? Some shit that you did back in the 50s and said that you have made the world a better place when you call yourself all about love and light. You ain't talking a goddamn thing. All you did was cut cords. And anybody who was supposed to have been learning, that you should have been working with to teach, you didn't bother to do that. Oh, no. So you rather go see the movie and talk about how moving it was and how sad it is that it's still going on. But it's still going on because you didn't do the work with these people, because you taught on a spiritual level, a spiritual tip. But these people can't be taught. You want to erect the boundary. Do you say that you're Israeli or Jewish much as you're trying to annex some land where it's already been settled, but at the same time, because you suffered an atrocity of 6,000, or no, not 6,000, 6 million lives, but does it matter? Because as many were lost under the slave trade as under the Holocaust, but at the same time, that's not what we talk about. We talk about our misery. We talk about our afflictions. We talk about our burdens. We talk about what we have to deal with. And at the same time, we sit there and say, why is nobody there for us? But at the same time, you say you've always been there for somebody. But that's a matter of perspective, don't you think? See, I'm not just reading from the good book. I'm telling you what it says. Many ministers will tell you they tell you what it says, but at the same time, all they're trying to do is get a dollar out of you too. But I didn't get no money out of you. I taught you for free. And I was cracking up because Spirit was giving me these numbers and stuff, and I looked at this thing and I said, that don't even make any sense. So the numbers I looked at that came up, I mean, they were talking about the lottery. The numbers came up, it was like 445. It was like, to me, the angels dealing with, you know, that which is man being rejected. But it was like, you know, okay. And then the even numbers came up, because I half thought about it. I said, that ain't getting ready to happen again. Oh, but when I checked those numbers in the evening, again, it said 445. The numbers were duplicate. And it was a payout. And see, that's what I see happening now. Because you sold your soul for a price. I don't care fuck who you are. Religious, spiritual, or whatever you claim yourself to be, you sold your soul for a price. So what you want me to do? And my father's already said, I've already penned a new tale. I penned it for all of them, and let them make their way to the house of the Lord if they think that they still deserve to go there. But it takes work, and a lot of them or too lazy to do the work the first time. So what makes them think that they're going to accomplish anything the next time? Even as those of you who say Spirit does all the work have already proven that you are not trustworthy of doing any kind of work because you're too busy trying to get over on people. Sounds like two sides of the same coin to me. So what am I supposed to do? That lady didn't show up to get that money. She'll get it tomorrow. But I said, I'll place lay my head tonight. And his brother shows back up, knocking on my door, talking out. And he kept blowing up my phone. I'm like trying to work. And he's blowing up my phone. I'm like, oh, I'm not, are you there? Are the ladies still there? Blah, blah. Pulling me for information and stuff. Because his mama had somebody come over a booty call. So he had to make other arrangements, and he think he was going to kick it with me. No, you ain't going to take me down that pathway. You know. But see, you were the one who, when I told you I didn't want to do readings, were kind of insistent upon it, and you tapped me out to the point that I was tired and sick for a number of days. And yeah, I could have not done it. I should have not done it. But now I'm really not going to do it. Because the thing is, why? Do it for yourself. You're also, you got that ability. And you say these people teaching you, or what they teaching you. I think you are hysterical. So, you know what? As my barber likes to say, enjoy the journey. For many are called, but few are chosen. And I kept hearing my phone ring. The ringtone from my phone. And I'm like, why do I keep hearing that? He said, because you have a connection. They still trying to figure out theirs. That's why they sitting there taking all these damn classes. Yeah, he got another class for you, and I told you there was a game in there that involved dodgeball. But see how you dodge this bullet. You know, the one that shot me in the back a couple times. I didn't die. Because I can't die again. Not for you. But y'all steady dying. Left and right. And then talking about thank you for your service. And how great a person you were. Even as you were poised to retire. Because some drunk driver hit you on the side of the road as you were doing your job. Pulling your service weapon and more. And they're trying to change the laws about unnecessary killing. But the law enforcement said we're trained to do this, and our responses are beyond reproach. And it should not be the people in Sacramento, just in the great state of California, that should, dictate how we do our job. And we are allowed to free our comrades and thank them for their service. And not charge them. Unlike Jesse Smollett, that nigga has to pay. Let's see what you do with Felicity Huffman and Lori Lockman and all those people. Will you relegate them to a lesser sentence for a crime that is supposed to carry some weight? I mean, the actors too. I told you, you're full of shit. And you think God don't see it? He done told the story. He knows exactly who you are. And the life that you live from this point on will be the life you deserve. And you will leave me the fuck out of it. But you're going to not do that. Because many of you sit there say you still got Jesus. In fact, you still condone Jesus for all that you do. Meaning that, the spiritual advisors more you say, well, I see Jesus around you. Doreen's still looking for Jesus. But at the same time, she's looking for her version of Jesus. And she's still doing the same work she was doing before. She's just doing it on the flip side. As if you never understood the difference. Lori Bell Lipton. I told you. She's a word lord. She's a wordsmith. She crafted a language. The Prince of Lies. You're doing the same thing. I know who you are. I ain't thinking about you. All y'all go to hell. Capiche? Have a good evening. Bye-bye.